Let's maul in the Central Committee. Let's cringe in the Central Committee. Let's bog in the Central Committee right now.
It's time for us to go after Governor Cuomo again. Governor Cuomo, resign now. We're about to experience some nuclear cringe. I apologize already.
We have breaking news in our politics lead. We're hearing from
Mike Ear 2, thanks for the
Governor
tier 1.
Cuomo's
And Deep Dish
accusers
Bar,
for the
thanks for
first
gifting a
time
sub as well.
since he said he was deeply sorry. His former aide, Charlotte Bennett, says that the governor is not taking responsibility for his behavior. Cuomo did say he was sorry if his comments were misinterpreted as unwanted flirting. But Bennett has accused the governor of making a variety of inappropriate comments to her when she worked for him, including asking her about her sex life and if she ever slept with older men. Let's get right to CNN's Bryn Gingras.
Wow.
And Bryn, Charlotte Bennett said this behavior is typical for the governor, and she's asking others to come forward, right?
Yeah, Jake, Charlotte Bennett actually retained an attorney, and she issued a statement shortly before your show came on the air, and I want to read part of it to you. It says, the governor has refused to acknowledge or take responsibility for his predatory behavior. As we know, abusers, particularly those with tremendous amounts of power, are often repeat offenders who engage in manipulative tactics to diminish allegations, blame victims, deny wrongdoing, and escape consequences. It took the governor 24 hours and significant backlash to allow for a truly independent investigation. These are not the actions of someone who simply feels misunderstood. They are the actions of an individual who wields his power to avoid justice. And her attorney adding to that statement what the governor did was, quote, textbook sexual harassment.
Good morning to everyone.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo trying to stem the fallout after a new sexual harassment allegation surfaced.
I need more Chris Cuomo.
The second in a matter of days. Calls for an investigation coming from the biggest names in Cuomo's own party. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and even the White House.
The New York Attorney General will oversee an independent investigation with subpoena power, and the governor's office said he will fully cooperate. We certainly support that process.
The most recent accusation, first reported by the New York Times, 25-year-old Charlotte Bennett, a former aide, telling the paper the governor asked her personal questions in a one-on-one setting last year, like had she been with an older man or if she had been monogamous in her relationships. Quote, I understood that the governor wanted to sleep with me and felt horribly uncomfortable and scared, she said.
She had actually gone to Governor Cuomo's chief of staff.
Holy
lodged a complaint. So this was documented and known inside of the Cuomo administration.
In a statement late last night, the second one issued since Bennett came forward, Cuomo apologized for what he perceived as, quote, playful comments. I now understand that my interactions may have been insensitive or too personal, and that some of my comments, given my position, made others feel in ways I never intended. I acknowledge some of the things I have said have been misinterpreted as
Thank you, Champagne Socialist, for the 5. Get this up. Do you guys have that picture of him grabbing her? There's a picture that's been going around. I thought I had it of him grabbing her. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Unwanted flirtation. To the extent anyone felt that way, I am truly sorry about that. Cuomo's words also in response to accusations made last week by a different former aide, Lindsey Boylan, who in a Medium post said she received an unwanted kiss from the governor in 2018, which Cuomo has denied multiple times. Boylan and Bennett did not discuss their claims with CNN. The governor is now asking the New York Attorney General to hire a private lawyer to investigate. But that was only after relenting to pressure from the AG and lawmakers who said his earlier proposals of who would investigate weren't acceptable because none of them allowed subpoena powers.
If these investigations bear out, it really starts to, I think, call into question the leadership that we currently have.
For the governor, once praised and admired globally for his pandemic response, mounting pressure.
By the way, because he was covering up hundreds of people dying in nursing homes. It's pretty good to be praised when you're covering up the death toll and lying about it. Holy shit. Okay, hold on. You don't often get an allegation of a powerful person acting in an unsettling way that comes with a photograph of that exact moment. But the latest Jesse McKinley story of Cuomo comes with such an image. Oh my God. What is the face he's making? Oh my God. Mega cringe. Holy shit. Bandit Bison, thanks for the prime as well. Holy fucking hell, dude. All right, let's go back to the video story.
Increasingly uncertain political future.
The condemnation of these remarks has been bipartisan. Democrats are very upset. Republicans were upset even before this with the nursing home scandal. So Governor Cuomo is in a very precarious political position at this hour.
Yeah, and just as he mentioned, the governor now facing investigations on really two fronts here. One, the sexual harassment claims, and the other having to do with his administration's handling of nursing home death data during the pandemic. That's an initial inquiry right now being conducted by the U.S. Attorney's Office right here in Brooklyn and the FBI. And we've just learned, Jake, defending Cuomo on the nursing home issue, at least, is white-collar crime attorney Elkin Abramowitz. Jake?
All right, Bryn Gingras.
If there is a hell, white-collar defense attorneys, white-collar crime defense attorneys are in it. Holy shit! New York Attorney General to hire private law firm to investigate? Fuck this. Resign.
Same way, too. Will you eat the whole sandwich? I will eat the whole sandwich. Yeah? Okay. Who made sausage food? Like, it wasn't like this 15, 20 years ago. It was when Rick Blasio did it. Then it became a thing and you can eat. I think. Oh, yeah. That's right. I like that. Yeah, shoot it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I want to see you eat the whole sausage.
I don't know if I should eat the whole sausage in front of you, but I'm definitely going to eat it.
No excuses.
What the fuck?
You know everyone, you know the county executive?
I do. Now you're going to know me in a whole different level. What I am.
My daughter, Michaela.
Hello.
Oh my god, I was wondering who the girl who looked extremely uncomfortable sitting next to him was.
You might be here a while. Now there's a lot of pressure on me to eat.
Oh my god! The mega cringe! Oh, DSA cringe! Oh god! Ah! I have an emoji. Or I have, oh my god. Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You never force a woman to eat a phallic-shaped object for everyone's entertainment when she is a reporter. Like, how is this okay? This is not a fun flirt. This is like some weird, creepy shit. You could tell she was like, oh, I'm hungry. I'd love to eat, have a plate of food. And he's like, oh, you eat the whole sandwich? And she's like, yeah, I'll eat the whole sandwich. Then he gets her a sandwich and he says, you're gonna eat the whole sausage. So he manipulates her into getting a plate of food. She probably said, oh, that looks really good. And then he gets the plate of food and she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go eat it. And he's like, no, I want you to eat the whole sausage in front of us. That's not like, that's some creepy manipulative behavior, chat. That's what he did. And look at how her expressing discomfort as like, oh wait, I'm realizing. Then he gets her to sit next to him.
There's a lot of pressure on me to eat this.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yeah.
Going to be on this side, huh?
Wait. Can I take a selfie with you while I eat my sandwich?
Oh, there you go.
I think that's a fair trade.
Yeah, there's too much sausage in that thing. You came to the inside the cage. That's right.
You would have thought my golden ticket. It's not as easy to eat this in front of all these cameras as you make it seem.
Well, that's right. That's your thing. Not only do you have to eat the sausage, but you have to...
That's part of the being the governor, right? Learning how to...
Oh my god, she's trying to talk to him about being governor and stuff. And he keeps saying, eat the whole sausage over and over again.
Get elected to office. They have a course called Eating on Camera, and then Eating on Camera while talking to colleagues.
Don't do it. I haven't passed that course yet.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I need to make sure that I don't get it on you.
Watch this video and tell me Cuomo is not a psycho. I think this is a good psycho test. I think this is a good psycho text. If you think this is A-okay, you might want to get yourself checked out for being a psycho. Like, the pressure on this person, first of all, everybody has to just like go along with it because he's the governor. And all these people's careers are depending upon his good favor. This seems like most bosses I've had. Oh yeah, there's an epidemic of creepy old men. The way I see the video, she was flirty and Andrew looked really awkward. In the end, she asked for a selfie. Dude, come on, man. Come on, man. This is like visiting my wife's family, Louisiana.
Jake.
All right, Bryn Gingras, excellent reporting. Thank you so much. Joining us now to discuss is New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for joining us. You said this morning, quote, what these two women went through is absolutely unacceptable, unquote. We should note Governor Cuomo has denied the first accuser's allegations. He has not denied the second.
Because there's a fucking photo. It's pretty hard to deny it. Pretty hard to deny it when there's a fucking photo.
To be clear, you believe both women.
Yes, Jake, and we have to believe women who come forward and fully investigate. And, you know, the governor issued a total non-apology earlier and in effect treated sexual harassment as some kind of laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter. It's not a joke. It's very, very serious stuff. And we need a full investigation. If it proves that these allegations are true, how can someone lead a state if they've done these kind of things?
One of Governor Cuomo's accusers, Charlotte Bennett, said in a statement today that Governor Cuomo, quote, has refused to acknowledge or take responsibility for his predatory behavior, unquote. I suppose that gets into what you just said, where he was basically saying in his statement, hey, I joke around a lot. I'm sorry if it was misinterpreted. I have to say, as I'm not a governor or a mayor, but I have a staff, I've never made any jokes, anything like that, you know, strip poker. Or anything like that. I mean, it's. I don't even understand how anybody could say something like that.
Yeah, Jake, when I read the account of what Charlotte Bennett went through, I cringed. I had a feeling of like.
We all did. We all cringed because here's the thing. When you feel like you've at least maybe because I'm a well-adjusted guy, I feel like if I am invading in someone's space, I have cringed from time to time. Even when the person was just joshing with me, if I feel uncomfortable, I don't like to invade somebody else's space inappropriately, right? And be unwanted, you know? That's not what I'm about. You may have noticed there's a famous clip of me where a friend of mine sees that I'm uncomfortable and makes fun of me and I cringe. That happened. That's a very famous clip that people post as if it was some sort of come on or something, which it wasn't. And I think most guys that are not shitbags are well aware of the stuff that women face from unwanted sexual attention from men, especially men who have power over them. And so because I believe in equality between the sexes, between gender, I believe in gender equality. I don't do that shit. I live my values. And there is a huge culture in politics and entertainment. Growing up as a female, walking to middle school, and creepy old men frequently pull up and try to talk to you or hit on you. The world is a gross place. Must be scary to be a creator. I mean, whatever. I'm doing great. I'm a guy, so I don't get that. I thought powerful people were less crude and more sophisticated than the masses. Who told you that? Who told you that? Last summer, a 40-year-old dude sang to me in a hardware store. So fucking cringy. Oh, man. When I cringe, I want it to be about myself doing something awkward and goofy. Because I'm a goofy guy. But god damn. Can you imagine doing something like this to a staffer 30 years your junior? My wife's stepdad cornered her and kept asking her about her bra size. Needless to say, he got what he got. Jesus Christ. This is much worse than Al Franken's behavior. Unbelievable he hasn't resigned yet. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Why did Al Franken get taken out so hard and Governor Cuomo didn't? Where's Kirsten Gillibrand? Where's Kirsten Gillibrand? She led the crucifixion of Al Franken, who definitely acted inappropriately prior to going into the Senate, as far as I know. But I think there were some people that claimed he made them uncomfortable, which is fine. Where is Kirsten Gillibrand? Where's she at?
The pain, the terror she must have been going through. Here's someone who could determine whether she has a job or not, whether she has a career or not, literally suggesting in front of her all sorts of perverse sexual possibilities, and she's alone in a room with him. I mean, think about how grotesque that is. And you're right. I don't know anyone who would do that. This is not acceptable. It wasn't acceptable ever. It's especially not acceptable in 2021 in the United States of America. So it cannot be laughed off. It cannot be minimized. We need to follow the facts on this case and think about the ramification of the nursing home scandal. Thousands of lives lost. We still don't know why. We still don't know how much of the truth was covered up. We still don't know how much of it might have been because of the influence of campaign contributions from the nursing home industry, a very powerful industry. There is so much that needs to be uncovered here.
If an independent investigation, the Attorney General Letitia James is now going to make sure that happens into the claims about the sexual harassment, the alleged sexual harassment. If that investigation confirms any of the women's claims, or if there is some other investigation, the FBI or whatever, into the nursing home data scandal, if any of that is confirmed, do you think Governor Cuomo needs to resign?
I don't see how anyone can function as a governor and have the trust of the people and the respect of the people if they purposefully covered up the deaths of thousands of our seniors, our elders, family members, beloved family members who are gone. If you cover that up, or if you did things for reasons that had to do with politics or contribution, and if you've sexually harassed young women in your employment, these are disqualifying realities. How can anyone look the people in the face after that? If these allegations, if these charges are proven, there's just no way he can govern.
So that's a yes. You think that he should resign if any of these are proven correct?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I have to note, just for viewers who are not familiar with New York politics, you have long had a contentious relationship with the governor. You guys have disagreed publicly on policy and other issues for years and years. What do you say to a viewer who might see what you're saying and say, oh, this is just a personal vendetta?
Look, I've known the governor a long time. I used to work closely with the governor. I became increasingly disillusioned, as have so many people who worked with him closely, by what I saw. And the abusive behavior, the threatening behavior goes way back. It's gotten worse in many ways over the years, but it's not new. What you saw with Assemblyman Ron Kim, when the governor threatened his career because the Assemblyman had the audacity to challenge the governor on the nursing home scandal. These are unacceptable practices. I said years ago this had to end. It's poisoning the reality of the state. And now, unfortunately, more and more of this is coming clear to us just how pervasive it is. But it can't go on like this. It just can't. So I would just say the facts are increasingly clear. It's not about anybody's personal viewpoint. It's about the facts. And, Jake, these facts are overwhelming.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, thank you so much. Appreciate it, sir.
Unbelievable, and frankly, extremely disgusting. I don't know what you can even say about it. It's starting to become readily apparent that something needs to be done. And gosh, chat, I'm looking. Does MSNBC even have a story about this? I mean, Chris Hayes did something on it, but I, for the life of me, can't see a story on MSNBC. Am I blind? Okay, here we go. It's on. Okay, we found it. Okay,
this morning, a new accusation against embattled New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. 33-year-old Anna Ruck telling the New York Times Cuomo was inappropriate with her at a crowded wedding reception in 2019, putting his hand on her bare lower back, which she then removed. Ruck says the governor then put his hands on her cheeks and asked if he could kiss her. She said she turned her head away. The New York Times reports Ruck was never employed by the governor or the state, but Charlotte Bennett was. And this morning, Bennett is dismissing Cuomo's apology, saying the governor has refused to acknowledge or take responsibility for his predatory behavior. The 25-year-old claims Cuomo verbally harassed her last spring when he asked the former executive assistant about her sex life. Bennett telling the New York Times, "I understood that the governor wanted to sleep with me." Governor Cuomo first denied Bennett's allegations, then acknowledged some of the things I have said have been misinterpreted as an unwanted flirtation. Overnight, the governor's brother, CNN anchor Chris Cuomo, addressing the allegations for the first time.
Obviously, I cannot cover it because he is my brother. I have always cared very deeply about these issues, and profoundly so.
This comes after the two had showcased their close relationship during the pandemic, the governor frequently stopping by his show.
Mom told me I had to.
And Chris even crashing his brother's regular press conferences.
You look like
You've been cutting your own hair.
This morning, Governor Cuomo stands with few political allies
Well, he can't
as
cover
he
it
faces
now.
parallel investigation, one into claims of sexual harassment, the other a federal inquiry into how his administration handled nursing home death during the pandemic.
One of the reasons why he's facing the difficulties he's facing, and he doesn't have the friends around him who might stand up for him.
Another accuser, Lindsey Boylan, says Cuomo not only made inappropriate comments to her, but also gave her an unwanted kiss on the lips in 2018, which Cuomo denies. Now Bennett, invoking Boylan's name, says, to the governor's survivors, I am here. Lindsey is here. You do not have to say a single word, but if you choose to speak your truth, we will be standing with you, I promise.
And this morning, Long Island Congresswoman Kathleen Rice is calling on Governor Cuomo to resign. She is the first New York Democrat congressperson to do so.
For one thing, there hasn't been a cascade of calls for Cuomo to resign so far. Just one New York Congresswoman, Kathleen Rice, has called for his resignation. Notably, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand wants the matter investigated first. In addition, Democrats are under less pressure to claim the political high ground and make an obvious contrast than they were during the 2017 Franken situation when Roy Moore was a congressional candidate in Alabama and Donald Trump was president. In other words, chat, Me Too was a cynical ploy. Disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting. And I don't know about you all, but it wasn't for me. We meant it when we said it. When I worked in intelligence operations, my captain had this saying that things don't change absence of extreme violence, disaster, war. I really hope this isn't the case, because the older I get, the more informed I become, the more I feel scared that this is the case. It is sad that the guy murdered thousands of people to make himself look good, and no one gives a shit, but if he gets sued, it's all over the news. Both are all over the news. I want to show you more. Let's show the only person who doesn't suck on MSNBC all the time. Why Democrats aren't asking Cuomo to resign, the diminishing power of Me Too. Seems obvious enough that Governor Andrew Cuomo did what his former aide Charlotte Bennett said he did. Bennett told the New York Times that among other things, Cuomo asked her if she ever had sex with an older man, complained about being lonely and wanting a hug, and said he would date someone in her 20s. Fuck!
Called on New York Governor Cuomo to resign. The time has come, she says. The governor must resign. That comes after a third woman
where
has
the
now come
fuck is
forward to tell the New
AOC
York
on this?
Times Cuomo made unwanted advances to her at a wedding, touching her bare back and asking if he could kiss her. That is the picture taken at the moment.
Where the fuck is AOC on
moment
this?
in question. Now that news breaking tonight, just
Absolutely
hours
should be
after New
calling
York's
on him to
Attorney General
resign.
Letitia James announced her office will move forward with an independent investigation into allegations of sexual harassment by Cuomo, promising that, quote, the findings will be disclosed in a public report. Over the weekend, a second former aide had gone on the record in the New York Times accusing the governor
acted like
of
a creepy
harassment.
incel. True.
Cuomo denies the allegations. He released an apology on Sunday saying, I now understand my interactions may have been insensitive or too personal, and that some of my comments, given my position, made others feel in ways I never intended. Cuomo and his administration.
Also 14 months.
Uncanny Manny, thanks for the tier 2 for 14 months. Oh, I mean, this is even more obvious. Wacky Matter, thank you. Well, here's the thing about this. Thank you for the 3 gifted, Wacky Matter. It doesn't matter. Cuomo could resign, and we're not going to have a Republican in New York. There's no reason to defend this guy but corruption. That's it.
Are also under investigation by the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for undercounting New York's COVID deaths in nursing homes. A New York assemblyman who criticized the governor's handling of nursing homes, a perfectly legitimate policy criticism, says Cuomo then threatened to destroy him. All this together is an avalanche of negative press for a governor who spent the last year
How do I get my dad to
billing
stop
himself
watching
as
the
the very model
Maddow
of
brainworm stuff? Cable news. Hey, listen, I don't have a solution to getting rid of cable news from my MSNBC from my own fucking relatives. So I'll let you know when I figure it out. Wasn't Joe Biden creepy towards women as well? Yes!
Leadership in the coronavirus era. But independent of any specific allegation against Cuomo about sexual harassment or policy failures or allegations of covering up data, Andrew Cuomo's style has been well known for years. He relies on intimidation and strong-arming and vendettas against people who cross him. He's a bully. That is just how he has operated. It's not a secret. I mean, everyone who's covered him knows this. But in some ways, this reckoning shows the limitations of that style of politics. It's a style with no specific political party or ideology, has ownership over. My time covering politics, I've encountered people across the spectrum with that approach. I mean, many people accuse Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel of being a bully during his time in office, and I think that was a pretty fair charge. Certainly the ultimate example is, of course, Donald Trump. There are officials and staffers and voters, and occasionally even some of the press, who could confuse intimidation and projections of authority with actual strength. You see that sometimes, they're getting stuff done. My advice, though, is don't vote for bullies if you can avoid it. Now, Andrew Cuomo has been returned to office time and time again by the voters. And it's not like he hasn't been covered negatively. This is not his first bout of negative press, okay? But voters don't have to just accept the description of being hard-nosed or tough is good enough in leaders. People can't be kept in silence through intimidation forever. And with political leaders, their public words and the messages they send do matter tremendously.
It's a problem whether or not you have power. Just don't be creepy to women. I'm not a man, but I'm attracted to women. I find it ridiculous easy not to be a creepy fuck towards them. And it should everyone else who likes women. Yeah, and God, this Cuomo shit gets creepier and creepier. Bennett memorialized her discomfort in text to friends and family. She met with Cuomo's chief of staff, after which she accepted a transfer to a job on the other side of the Capitol from the governor's office. She gave a statement to a special counsel to the governor, Judith Mogul, and she showed the Times a text from Mogul alluding to their meeting, if not its content. And Cuomo hasn't denied Bennett's claims. Instead, he's issued a sort of apology that seems to confirm some of them. Cuomo added that he never inappropriately touched anybody or propositioned anyone. That seemed to be a response to another ex-aide, Lizzie Bolin, who first accused Cuomo of sexual harassment on Twitter in December, and last week said he'd kissed her and invited her to play strip poker. Given what we know of Bennett's story, it's hard to imagine an inquiry that could exonerate the governor. It could probably only determine the degree and prevalence of his apparent harassment. So eventually, Cuomo's fate will tell us whether there's still power in the Me Too movement. Among many Democrats, there's tremendous bitterness towards those who pressured Al Franken to leave the Senate in 2018 after he was accused of grabbing several women's butts. So perhaps it's not surprising then, rather than calling on Cuomo to step aside, Gillibrand has joined other Democrats in supporting an investigation. This article is pissing me off already, chat. The scandal-plagued Cuomo has little in common with Franken, whose ethical record was unblemished prior to the groping accusations. Before Boylan and Bennett detailed their experiences, Cuomo was already under fire for forcing nursing homes to accept coronavirus patients who had been discharged from hospitals and undercounting nursing home deaths by the thousands. His handling of nursing homes during the pandemic is under investigation by the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. Given the prospect of months of damaging revelations for the various inquiries into Cuomo, Democrats would probably be better off jettisoning him now over the sexual harassment charges. But I wouldn't expect a stampede away from him yet for two reasons. First, despite the nursing home scandal, the fact that New York's vaccination rate is worse than Florida's or Arizona, the TV-nurtured myth of Cuomo's take charge competence still prevails. The governor is loathed by much of New York's progressive political class, many of whom are astonished to see him transformed into a resistance hero last year. Meanwhile, many Democrats are sick of holding themselves to a set of standards that Republicans feel no need to try to meet. This isn't standards about accepting a meal from a lobbyist or a gift from a foreign dignitary. This is, he sexually is propositioning 20-year-old staffers who work for him. This is him covering up thousands of nursing home deaths. Are they serious? Twitter is full of people demanding that party not Frank and Cuomo, pointing out that Republicans are making no steps to investigate alleged sexual harassers in their own angst. So what? At a certain point, demonstrating making what sacrifice? What sacrifice? An incompetent, corrupt, right-wing sexual assaulter or harasser who will be replaced by a Democrat who's better? This is a pathetic loser opinion piece. This is a pathetic loser opinion piece. And the Democrats every day make it easier to hate them. A 39-year-old woman took flight from Doha, Qatar to John F. Kennedy International Airport in late February, the final leg of her trip home to New York City from Iran. A week later, on March 1st, she tested positive for the coronavirus. The first confirmed case in New York City of an outbreak that had already devastated China and parts of Europe. The next day, Governor Andrew Cuomo, appearing with Mayor Bill de Blasio at a news conference, promised that health investigators would track down every person on the woman's flight, but no one did. A day later, a lawyer from New Rochelle, a New York City suburb, tested positive for the virus, an alarming sign because he had not traveled to any affected country. Although city investigators had traced the lawyer's whereabouts and connections in the most crowded corridors of Manhattan, the state's efforts focused on the suburb, not the city, and Mayor Mr. de Blasio urged the public not to worry. We'll tell you the second we think you should change your behavior. For many days after the first positive test, as the coronavirus silently spread throughout the New York region, Mr. Cuomo, Mr. de Blasio, and their top aides projected an unswerving confidence that the outbreak would be readily contained. Excuse our arrogance as New Yorkers. I speak for the mayor also on this one. We think we have the best healthcare system on the planet right here in New York. So when you're saying what happened in other countries versus what happened here, we don't even think it's going to be as bad as it was in other countries. Unbelievable, man. We do politics here every morning starting at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. You can watch us here on Twitch. We're the morning guy. The morning politics guy, Politics Frogs, in every single day, same time, 10 a.m., day in, day out, and we carry you through your morning and early afternoon politics needs. And if you need more, Mike from PA, we have a YouTube channel. We talked about suburbs, the My Pillow guy, Ted Cruz. We talked about DSA. Amazing. Making fun of Tim Pool. Amazing. Look at all of these amazing videos. Get in there, watch them. We have me on Twitter. You gotta follow me on Twitter, chat. I'm at 20,614 subs. That means I got like 40 followers on Twitter in the last day. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. Go follow us on Twitter. And of course, join the Discord, where we have an incredible community of left-wing streamers. We have left-wing community. We talk about the stream. We talk about politics. There's gaming content. It's a really awesome, supportive place. Direct action, mutual aid, and you can just let off some steam. And also, you can help produce the show. One of the things I do is I look at the links that are put into the news content suggestions chat room on the Discord. Join the Discord, come hang out, and maybe what you want me to talk about will be part of the next show.